She hadn't fired a weapon since that night in Beverly Hills 2 months ago, and it was time to get back to the range. Kill a silhouette instead of a real person. Face it and move on. Sophie had, confronting far worse. Make her proud. Chapter 2. While Nolan was unloading at the range, a woman who dropped her last name years ago, like Madonna or Rihanna, was crawling through a ragged hole cut from a rusty metal link fence in the desert. Marielle winced when the sharp cut ends scored her bare arms and drew blood. Hello, tetanus. Good luck getting a shot anytime soon. Stupid, stupid, stupid. In spite of the unbearable heat, she should have worn long sleeves. Another mistake to add to the long list of them. So many bad choices, big and small. But that was all changing now. There would never be full absolution for her, but it was way past time for penance. She found a packet of tissues in her duffel and blotted her wounds, then wiped the blood from the spines of metal that had gouged her. The sand had soaked up the fallen droplets, but she smoothed it anyway, erasing her presence here. Nobody knew this place. She was reasonably certain of that. But now was not a time to be careless. Her daughter's life depended on it, and she would protect her or die trying. The entrance to the abandoned mine was mostly in shadow now, but there was enough light to see that the rotting timbers supporting it were canting inward under the weight of the earth above it. There were a million horrible ways to die, and being buried alive was very near the top of her list. But she'd come to realize there were worse things than death. She tossed the duffel through the dark mouth, and that slightest of concussions caused a shower of dirt to rain down on the canvas. What would happen if there was a tremor or, God forbid, a bona fide earthquake while she and Serena were in there? She knew exactly what would happen. The mine would implode and collapse on them, just like this whole plan might. But there weren't any other options. It was time to spin the wheel of fortune and let the universe decide. It was waiting for her, so said the seductive promise that had brought her to this hellhole in the first place. Marielle dropped to her hands and knees and crept through the opening into stale, dusty blackness so complete she felt like she'd been swallowed. She didn't believe it was remotely safe in here, but the mine provided a perfect view of the valley floor. She would be able to see the truck coming, even with the headlights off. If it didn't happen this week when Paul was away from the compound, it might be a month before they could try again, and she didn't want to think about what could happen in a month. You're going to be running for the rest of your life. Serena deserves better. Serena did deserve better, but that was a problem to solve later. Right now, it was simply about survival, so she dragged the duffel deeper into the cave until a fetid smell stopped her. Until now, it hadn't occurred to her that the mine might have been repurposed by some animal, possibly a dangerous one. But the dangerous animals only lived up in the mountains, didn't they? With trembling hands, she fumbled for her penlight so she could scare away whatever man-eating beast might be lurking in the inky blackness beyond, or at least meet her maker before it ripped her head off. Out of darkness, let light shine. When she finally found it and clicked it on, the corona of light landed on a lumpy dark rock with metallic veins and speckles that reflected off the rough surface. Serena would love it and do something imaginative with it, so she stashed it in the duffel for her birthday next month. She trained the flashlight farther into the cavern, and a scream she didn't dare release almost erupted from her throat. Animals hadn't done this. Oh no, animals didn't arrange human bodies like strips of jerky to cure in the desert air. This was a man-made mausoleum. It was impossible to tell how long they'd been here, partially mummified as they were, and she wasn't going to examine them more closely to try and find out. Whoever these poor souls had been, they were lost to the world here. If they'd been trying to get away, things had gone terribly wrong. Not all dangerous things lived in the mountains. She should have realized that a long time ago. Serena tugged the fleece blanket tighter around her shoulders against the creeping chill of the desert night. It was strange that a place as blistering as an oven during the day could get so cold once the sun went down. She asked Mama about it once a long time ago, and her answer had been immediate and resolute. The desert was a place of mystery and magic and salvation, and that's why they'd moved here. From where?